So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how shit are your waifus?
0.
5.
Who am I kidding? It's probably 10.
I don't know.
Probably 10 as well. Welcome to the anime and simulcast discussion podcast, Divergence Cast, which is now back from vacation, finally. I am one of your hosts, the main character of the story, JoJo, or Joseph, or the Joseph one anyways, JJ. I'm joined by my fellow co-hosts, Iggy, also known as Stranger, and Oingo Boingo. And he doesn't even know, so... whatever.
Yeah, you lost me.
And
Alex is
unfortunately,
useless, man.
and unfortunately, we would be joined by Adam, but for some reason he's not here. So I don't know.
Sucks.
He's that one baby character.
Oh my god.
So yep. So once again, we'll be talking about anime now that we're back from our unexpected vacation. And but first, let's start with our weeks. So how about you, Stranger?
Well, I went on a shopping trip earlier and bought 6 volumes of the Higurashi manga for $15. And then I'm like 95 hours into rewrite so far. So I've been playing a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And then Matt came over and I watched the entire second season of Space Dandy with him.
Yeah, I still need to get back to rewatching season 2. Or
There is
watching.
There is one episode in season 2 that is just, I swear, the most massive what the fuck moment ever, and I have watched everything.
Was it like the first one in season 2 where with all the dandies?
Oh no, that was nothing compared to this one. This one, I have seen Higurashi, I've seen Neon Genesis Evangelion, I have seen Perfect Blue. This tops all those on what the fuck factor.
Yeah, I think I can't remember when I stopped, but it was mostly because I wasn't able to finish it on Toonami, so I'm probably going to pick up the DVDs eventually.
Yeah, it's this one episode where they're on a planet that's basically limbo, and it's just trippy as
that
fuck.
one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that one was weird.
I just stared at Matt after it like, what did I watch, man? What do I exist anymore? If you're questioning your reality, that's pretty bad, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably about it for me.
Yeah, me, haven't actually been watching much, though I did start rewatching Outbreak Company since I got the DVD shipped to me. And,
A month early.
What?
Like a month early.
Huh?
Said like a month early.
Yeah, a month early, because, you know, Rightstuf and Crunchyroll tends to send Sentai shows out pretty damn early. It's like, what's the point of pre-order dates if you can basically get them a whole month before they're officially out?
Have you ever got one of those on time?
Nope, I think they've all been shipped early. Every time I buy from, at least every time I buy from Rightstuf or Crunchyroll. When I buy from Amazon, it's usually on the pre-order date. But yeah, it's... So yeah, I've been rewatching that a little bit, and other than that, I've just been playing Final Fantasy XIV. Like, a lot.
Joseph Joestar, man.
Yes, last night I saw a character named Joseph Joestar.
Holy shit! Oh my god!
I was tempted to say that to him, but I was too busy doing other stuff. But anyways, that's all I've been doing. How about you, Alex?
I haven't really been doing much of anything. Like, as for in terms of shows, just pretty much just been watching the simulcasts. Other than that, just been playing an awful lot, or playing games. Currently playing Wolfenstein, Morrowind, and a bunch of 3DS games.
You've reached Morrowind Outlander.
And this is weird because, like, coming from the games like Oblivion and Skyrim, it's a bit weird because, like, you sort of have to make your way on your own. There's no, like, waypoints and all that.
And no fast travel or none of that.
So you pretty much, you pretty much have to, like, go all over the place. And I do think there is a way to, like, travel faster, but it's not like fast travel like it is in the sense of Morrowind or Oblivion or Skyrim. You just have to go. Yeah, you actually have to go to the Mages Guild instead.
Well, you can go to the Mages Guilds. You can take boats around, or you can take the Silk Striders.
Yeah, I like just sort of going around, but I would say it's sort of a pain in the ass, especially in the beginning of the game, because it's sort of very slow. I want to say, I'm not sure if you ever experienced that same problem. Of course, you can work through that and get your like acrobatic stuff up and whatnot, but that was one of the weirdest things, or I guess initially off-putting, even though I'm enjoying it, initially off-putting things when I started up Morrowind, I think like I can't remember, like 2 weeks ago. I couldn't play for a while because I was going through a bunch of computer problems, but either way, that was initially one of the more like off-putting things about the game, because it's like, it felt so slow compared to what I remembered of Skyrim and Oblivion.
Yeah.
And besides that, I've also been reading some manga lately. I caught up on what's available of Tonari no Seki-kun. Yeah, the manga. I'm currently reading Saint Onisan.
Oh, nice.
Thank God.
And let's see. I also read this one manhwa called Young Be the Invincible. And I read this really, really absurd, it's like really stupid Korean like comic. And it's titled, I think it goes by two separate titles. One's What the Teenage Boys Do, and then the other name's just 10th Dimension Boys, and it's just pretty much a bunch of like, it's sometimes just like fart humor with twists, and like a bunch of people wanting to kill each other. It's really it's stupid but funny.
Oh, and of course Adam messages me now. Oh, I can't get on. Go on without me. Man, I hope we can do that.
I'm sure he's still suffering from Himegoto.
Package jiggle, man.
The package
Bounce,
jiggle.
bounce. You still need to finish that, man.
Nope.
You just never want that to be on your finish list.
I've not finished a single series I've considered terrible, and if I do finish that series, it'll be the first one.
Momo Keen Sword.
I'm still behind on that one as well.
How many episodes? Like, it took one episode, and you're just like, you know what, screw it, I'm not watching this anymore.
Yeah.
And then one day you will finish Soul Eater Night.
Nope.
like I watch Package Jiggle, but Soul Eater Night is going too far. That's my line that I draw.
It's pretty much like me in the what's it called? That I Scored list show they had.
Oh my god.
I had the cat giving a blowjob as opposed to like everything else in the episode, and I was just had enough of the show at that point.
Like, just no more, man. Why? Why did it end like this? And it had a condom on its toe. So I don't even know. I can't even begin to comprehend this.
Your anaconda don't?
You got whatever.
Okay. Anywho,
That's terrible, JJ.
anything else, Alex?
Not that I can think of. Besides, like the last month, just been playing a lot of stuff since the last time we did a show. Yeah.
Well, anyways, I guess moving on, we'll start with simulcasts. So, I guess we might as well start with JoJo first. Get Stranger's excitement out of the way.
Oh my god. So freaking amazing. Oingo Boingo Brothers.
They had...
Like, I love what Colin was saying to me. He said, like, it started off as a normal anime, then it got a little weird in the second arc, and now it's just... He literally said it's just constant fucking bullshit now. Like, they have, like, no standards anymore. They just do the most random bullshit.
Yes, basically.
He used an example that he was literally watching an episode where there was a monkey whose stand was a boat. And that was his example right there. Shit fucking bullshit, man. It's just got even worse since they got into Egypt.
Yes, in the last episode with the sword. And then how he basically gets that kid, and the kid basically does that pose, weird pose at the end, then throws it, and the sword just keeps going around in the air.
He doesn't even throw it, he trips over Iggy.
And of course, we now have a dog that eats people's hair and farts in their face.
And chews coffee gum. Why? Where do they even come up with this stuff? He has to be on acid or something. Just dripping balls every time he writes it.
Probably this was like back in the, like, was it like 80s or 70s?
He's probably looking over at the walls melting. What should I come up with now?
Throw about bullshit at wall and see what sticks.
I don't even know anymore, man. It's funny as hell. Like, what the hell is up with that Oingo Boingo Brothers ending theme?
I don't know. It's just a random ending change from Pat Metheny's song to that, and they didn't even face them. They just had dark comedy episode.
Leave it to Joseph and Polnareff, man. Only they can be that fucking dense.
That's the take when they see Iggy and they had poisoned coffee.
Oh, and what the hell was up with them with the translations on Crunchyroll? Like, I can understand them changing it a little bit because of legal reasons. But they were very obviously saying Oingo and Boingo, and the subs just said something completely different.
Yeah,
what were they called? What were they called instead?
Something with a Z and an M or something. I don't even remember.
It was just like way fucking different. Like, you could very obviously tell.
Maybe they changed, because I think they changed some names in the games, maybe. So maybe they're going off of that for the English translation. I don't know. It's just weird. It's like you've got characters outright saying Oingo Boingo and you're calling them something else. It's just weird.
Their names didn't even rhyme. It was just some random bullshit they just threw the into there.
I mean, couldn't you have called them Zoingo Doingo or something?
I mean, they had Dana still. God, I love the naming conventions in this show. I remember the classics like AC/DC and Wham.
And Speedwagon and...
REO Speedwagon, oh my god. Father Sticks. Yeah, this show never gets old. Like, I look forward to every single episode.
And I've heard actually part 4, the stands get a lot more interesting as well. From the few people I've heard who've kept up with the manga.
How can you get more interesting than Hierophant Green?
Well, from what I've heard, they're less battle-y, more sort of interesting sort of stands. I'm not sure exactly how it is since I haven't read or heard or watched or read the next part yet, but from what I've heard, the stands do get a lot more interesting.
Yeah, I've been on like pretty much total blackout from like any future spoilers because I want each episode to be completely unknown to me. which is really weird. They can still go into every episode fresh when the manga was being released in like the 80s.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they only ever had the part 3 ever really released in anime form, and then like a movie and an OVA for the first parts.
And weren't all those movies and OVAs like such shit that the author watched them and said, never release this again?
I don't know, but that would make sense.
Yeah, I think I read that he saw one of the movies and told them that they were never allowed to re-release it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad it was.
Yikes. But, anything else about JoJo?
Let me just say, I hope David Productions just sits there and like releases every single adaptation they can from it and just does nothing else until then.
That would be pretty awesome, though. What else didn't David Production also do that Neptuna anime, or was it? That's the only one I can think of that they did.
I'm about to check on Wiki real quick.
Because I know they did, like, they're doing JoJo, and I know they did the Neptuna one, but I don't remember if they did anything else.
Yeah, I'd never heard of them before JoJo. A lot of production assistants, random bullshit I haven't heard of. Inu X Boku SS, Hyperdimension Neptunia the animation, and JoJo. So yeah, they haven't really did too much interest.
So I imagine JoJo is pretty much their flagship series right now.
Pretty much a lot of their stuff is pretty much just unknown, and they helped a lot of production like Soul Eater and Code Geass and a couple other things.
Plus, it's freaking JoJo. That's pretty much the manga was pretty much the reason we have the shonen genre. So yeah.
I mean, wasn't it coming out around the same time as Dragon Ball Z and all that?
Yeah,
like I think
much.
Dragon Ball Z is where it really set that off.
Yeah, that's Dragon Ball Z was where it sort of where it basically got as popular as it was, but you still probably wouldn't have it without JoJo. At least a lot of the stuff that make up the genre, I think. At least that's what I've heard. But
Let's see. Oh no, Wikipedia. I totally didn't want to see when the manga came out. I just wanted to see when the anime came out.
The anime? You mean, which anime?
Dragon Ball Z.
The Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, it did start a couple years before Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, so pretty much without the merger on manga. What was that?
Sound like it's on Strangers then.
Well, yeah.
Talk about some random bullshit I haven't watched real quick.
Okay, I guess then we'll move on to, The Rolling Girls, which is easily my favorite series of the season, and a good front-runner for a year as well. So,
I like the show like quite a bit, but I'm not sure if I could give it that kind of, especially with spring coming, man.
Yeah,
especially with spring, like. I
can't
give Rolling Girls that distinction so far, especially also because I do like as much as I like the Rolling Girls, it's not without it. I'm not without my criticisms of it.
Yeah,
I would say that some of the things, like sometimes I have absolutely no idea what's going on in the episode. So, and as much as I enjoy that sort of a thing, like last episode, I think episode 3, I was like, it just sort of felt like close to a half hour of. Okay, this is amusing and all, but I feel like I'm missing something here.
Yeah, for me, no matter the actual quality of the episode, I always come out a lot more. Like, I haven't felt that much happy from watching any other show in quite a while. Like,
definitely. I remember around there was episode 2. The night I had watched it, I was sort of in a very odd mood, and I remember watching the episode. It just made me feel a lot. I just felt happy after watching it.
Yeah,
like I said, it's cute. It's pretty interesting. Just the overall world they have. Like I said, I can't especially with the whole year left.
Yeah,
I can't.
I definitely agree, but at the same time, it's pretty close to basically being one of my favorite shows. Right now, it's my favorite show of this season. But if it can keep it up, I can definitely say it would go into my top 10, maybe even top 5 if possible.
I'll agree. Well, you can hold on. We're talking about Rolling Girls here, sister. But like I was saying, that's the thing. Like, I agree with you. I agree with you. That's a really good show. But there's just like something I can't shake of it yet, from it or something. And I'll say actually right now, my 2 shows that are sort of juggling my number 1 of the season are Rolling Girls and Maria the Virgin Witch. Personally, that's my opinion.
But anyways, but I will agree that like next season, basically Blood Blockade, Battlefront, and Ninja Slayer are probably going to be really good contenders for Anime of the Year as well. But right now, I'm just loving the hell out of the Rolling Girls, like just nonchalantly loving every moment of it.
Yeah, like I said, it's good. It's definitely good. I'm enjoying it too. I can't really, like, I've seen you on and off just rave about it sometimes, and I just can't bring myself to say I like it that much.
Yeah.
Like, I like it a lot, but just not as much.
I can understand that. Like, I have heard a few complaints of something like that, or around that, from other people as well,
like,
but...
I don't want to say, like, sort of, like, the pacing, or just sort of that general tone of, I don't really know what's going on sometimes. It's sort of reminiscent of some of the issues people might have, where, like, I sometimes took away from something like Fooly Cooly or Kyosugiga.
Yeah.
Another thing, I actually agree with what Stranger said, before he dropped the show, that it was sort of like a melding of the two, it was like a melding of Fooly Cooly and Kill la Kill, and I also think there's like you said, elements of Kyosugiga in there.
Well, that's that Kill la Kill and No Game No Life.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, either way, close enough. NGNL, FLCL.
But of course, you had to say there was one person out of the group who wasn't going to like it.
Well, to be fair, we usually have that every season. Like, there'll be one show where all the rest of us are raving about it, and then one of us is just kind of on it.
Wait,
Ginger Afro.
Did you actually ever check out Rage of Omelette?
Nope.
You should have.
It's literally no interest in it.
You're gonna have to watch that eventually.
I'll watch it after you watch the entire season of the Kiss X Sis OVAs. We got a deal, man?
You better be careful, stranger. He might actually do it.
Oh my god, he would do it.
You're right, but I'm not really sure if I'm in the mood at this point in time, so...
Stranger should probably redact his words now.
But
yeah, like I said, Rolling Girls is basically Kill la Kill without the interesting characters of the ecchi.
Well, as far as characters go, I mean, they were fun in Kill la Kill, but interesting? Like, I do love the characters in it, in Kill la Kill. They were, like I said, fun, but I can't see where you're coming from with the interesting part.
I mean, they just have, like, a hell of a lot of personality to them. Like, after 3 episodes of Rolling Girls, I could not remember those for nothing.
I guess I can sort of agree, but then again, characters usually don't matter too much to me.
Yeah, characters are, like, my most important thing in anime.
I really don't know. I don't really know how to feel in that because I like the characters personally.
Plus, there's like a character who's basically a mix of Chio and Officer Jenny.
Like I was saying, I'm not sure if I could actually name the characters that put to it.
Just that one guy in the sideways crocodile hat is called Crocodile.
See, there's one you can remember.
He's pretty much the only one you can remember.
And I guess before we end the discussion on the show, I love the opening.
Oh yeah, that's actually a rendition of a song from the 80s. I think the original song was All the Nice People by the Blue Hearts. And the tone of it is, originally it was more male band, rock band sort of. But now it sort of sounds more J-poppy, sort of. So it's interesting hearing them both together, and I do love both versions, actually.
I have no idea about the original version, but anyway.
Yeah, I can link it to you later if you want. But anyways, okay, I guess, moving on, Log Horizon. Kind of slow so far.
Yeah, it's...
I mean,
the one... Oh, go ahead.
I mean, they freaking introduced Rule 63 Shiro, and they're not doing much with anything at all.
Yeah, that was actually the most disappointing thing. They actually gave... Like, they actually had, a lot of focus on her in the episode before last week's, but she was pretty much quiet throughout the whole episode.
Yeah.
Like, that last Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's like, you introduce a character, and it's like, she seems to be playing, seems like she's going to play a bigger role.
Yeah.
In, this week's episode, but that's just the thing, is like, they introduced her in the one episode, and then she has, like, nothing in this last episode.
Yeah, to be
and
fair...
That's the thing, she's just, like, and that's sort of a problem considering she's, like, probably one of the most, probably the most interesting character so far in this arc.
Yeah.
They're in.
But I suppose this arc is basically meant as, Minori's, or was it Minori? The one bard chick, and,
Isuzu?
Isuzu, yeah. Her and the other side characters, arc, the kid characters, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's basically going to focus a lot more on them. And I will say I did like a couple of bits, like how when Randall and Isuzu were talking about, like, brought up, like, the translator thing, like how some certain words aren't really
That was actually,
translated.
I thought, really interesting.
Yeah, and how the people of
the songs
land
are
only
called
know
the 42
songs.
Yeah.
Because those were the original soundtrack to the game.
And that's actually something
interesting as hell.
And it's like, for all the crap I'll give this current arc, because I personally think it's, with the exception of last episode, sort of uninteresting so far. I thought that was probably one of the most single coolest things in Log Horizon so far, that it addresses that,
that's
the people living in the game and
wonderful
the music, the only music they ever hear.
Yeah, that's the thing I love about Log Horizon is doesn't really matter the quality of the arc. It's always going to bring up at least one thing that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to identify something in something from MMOs that other series might pretty much ignore, and then basically it basically makes it a whole lot more interesting. Like, it takes that part out and starts analyzing it and looking at it like, how would this affect this world? So, like, say, if the soundtrack itself, like, if that's the only music the NPCs have ever heard, then of course they're going to cheer on any music that they haven't heard before. That makes them feel something different. Because, like, in a normal MMO, you'd only have or basically same type of music going on throughout, maybe a couple different songs every now and then, but basically the same music, so you're not going to have much variety in it, but then you have something... What?
You could be playing Nickelback on a banjo and just be cheering their hearts out.
Pretty much. Yeah, you could basically be playing a shit song and they'd still be happy to finally hear something that isn't the 42 songs they always hear. But yeah, in general, stuff like that just really makes Log Horizon interesting. But yeah,
and I feel like I've been enjoying this arc way more than you two have.
I mean, it's not bad at all. It's not a bad arc. Like, I can't think of a single arc I'd call bad from.
I can't see.
Well, even that one, it had a lot.
That got better eventually. I think my issue with the arc is that it sort of started out very boring to me. It's just that sort of very much threw me off, and that's twice this season. They started out an arc,
Yeah.
sort of.
Another thing I liked from the last episode was how Randall House Code also said how a lot of the people of the land are going to Akihabara because they can pretty much learn from adventurers there stuff they wouldn't be able to learn in a lifetime. Mm-hmm. That was a nice nice bit to add in because, you've got younger people going to a bigger city, and since it's the NPCs, they're of course going to learn more interesting stuff from the adventurers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
it's interesting just how much the adventurers have changed the NPCs in that world.
Yeah, in general, the world itself, just watching every arc come to pass and the world just having a tremendous change from the last, it's very interesting to see. Like way back when we were first starting out in the first arc in season 1, it was like they couldn't even they didn't even have food that had taste, and then when they actually discovered how to make food with taste, they turned it into a grandiose arc that eventually led to the roundtable episode, which basically greatly changed everything in Akihabara. So it's just really interesting watching the world change in this series.
Mm-hmm.
But anything else about Log Horizon so far?
Not that I can think of.
Alright.
How long you give it until there's Shiroi X Roe 2 fan art?
What?
There probably is. Shiroi X what?
Roe 2.
There's probably already fan art. What do you?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's always fan art.
Rule 34, man.
Hey, they already have Rule 63.
That's in the show itself, so...
That's canon.
It's canon.
But anyways, I guess moving on, Death Parade. So, have either of you been keeping up with it, or...?
I haven't even
Never
watched
even
it.
tried it.
I was gonna say, I want to watch it, but the problem is... I've never been sure whether you have to watch Death Billiards first.
No, you don't. Death Billiards.
So maybe in due time I'll catch up on it, but
yeah.
I've held back for pretty much that exact
Plus,
reason.
Death Billiards is only basically the same size as a regular episode, so there really isn't much difference. But yeah, so far I've actually really been liking Death Parade. I mean, I think I still prefer Assassination Classroom and The Rolling Girls above it, but it's had some pretty interesting stuff so far. But I suppose I shouldn't spoil it since neither of you have watched it yet, but let's just say there are a lot of interesting stuff from it. I guess then we'll move on to something else. Since Adam isn't here, I can't really discuss it with him. So,
Way to go, Adam.
Damn it, Adam. Okay, I guess we'll move on to something that's less quality. Tokyo Ghoul. Wow, that's really gone downhill.
After seeing your tweets for it, I have not even started the season. I do not plan to do it anytime soon.
It. The only reason I'm keeping up with it is that one Juzo character is kind of fun to watch, but everything else is pretty terrible. It's so freaking inconsistent. Sometimes it'll be alright, and sometimes it's just badly done. The writing can be bad. Even the animation quality is really inconsistent. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Really bad. And it's they're at this point.
World Trigger levels are bad or no?
What? Oh no, not quite that bad, but still pretty bad. Right now, it feels like they're just throwing shit on the wall as far as the writing is concerned and seeing what sticks in all the bad ways.
JoJo takes all the good ideas and leaves the rest on the wall for them.
Pretty much. Like, I can't even remember what happened last episode, but it was just dumb. Outside of the JoJo moments, everything in that series is just dumb, and like all the characters that were sort of interesting in the season 1 are kind of non-existent now. And they introduced a couple of new characters which kind of started out as interesting and then just sort of became pretty bland after a while. So yeah, it's season 2 of Tokyo Ghoul. It's just terrible. I mean, it was always inconsistent before, but at least it had some redeeming qualities in the first season. Now it's just no.
Well, I dodged it there.
Yeah. But, okay, I guess moving on to something else. Assassination Classroom. So, have you been watching it, or?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's up with all that fist pumping in the OP, man?
What are you talking about, man? It's so simple, but, like, catchy dance.
And, yeah. Honestly, I do... Actually, as far as the opening and ending is concerned, I love the hell out of the ending.
Yeah, that ending is great.
Actually, probably best of the season.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree. It's easily the best of the season.
It's not only the song. It's just also the general
visuals,
sequence too. Yeah.
Yes, like very simple like chalk drawings that you'd see kids do, but what they depict is basically the show personified.
Yeah.
And then when you finally get to that zoom out, and it's like Kuro Sensei's face,
mm-hmm.
and the music itself is just really beautiful. So it's just...
And this thing, overall,
really
visually,
good.
this series has been pretty good.
Yeah.
Question before we continue, is it the same person who drew that one Danganronpa, is it?
Danganronpa?
Same artist, or... Because it looks sort of visually similar to it, but I have no
I
idea.
don't think so.
Assassination Classroom... Illustrated by Yusei Matsu.
I'm talking about like the manga, the anime art, because it's sort of, to me the two sort of look alike, but maybe I'm just...
I don't see anything. Apparently he did make Bobobo Bo Bo Bobobo.
That's a little bit different from Danganronpa. Those hair whips, man.
Didn't he have like nose hair, nostril whips?
Oh,
yeah,
right.
so
Apparently he was
that.
assistant of the guy who made Bobobo Bo whatever. But anyways. But as far as the series itself, it's honestly real. I honestly love the hell out of this series as well. It's just super fun. And last
Is your favorite
episode,
character still Bitch-san?
Yes, there's a character named Bitch-san, which I completely forgot was the entire reason I started watching this series.
She lives up to her name.
She kind of is a bitch. But yeah, just the whole concept of, this super powerful squid who can go at like Mach 20 and can freaking blow up the moon. And basically he's teaching kids who are trying to assassinate him. It's just absurd yet amazing of a concept.
Yeah, that concept is ridiculous as hell, but I love it. Love the hell out of his character.
Yeah, and then you have other characters like Karma, who sort of, and the other teacher guy who sort of offset him, sort of with their own brand of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like that one dude from Dead Man Wonderland.
Karma or the teacher?
The teacher.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, if I'm remembering right, he sort of does.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed when I saw him.
Yeah. But just... go on.
And I swear, the entire first episode, I kept thinking Nagisa was a girl.
Oh,
yeah,
same,
that's... Actually,
same.
I think I saw a joke about a lot from the comic while I was looking stuff up that was kind of they kind of say that in the series itself. Oh, speaking of, I also saw a comic I'm not sure if it was just the Assassination Classroom author, illustrator doing fan art or whatever, but it was like Kuro-sensei and One Punch Man in the same room, and they were looking at each other, and it was like, yes, that is the greatest Superman versus Batman thing ever. It's like a guy who can defeat enemies in one punch and untouchable squid. How would that work out?
I would love a One Punch Man anime. My concern is the animation.
I'm not sure
quality.
how you would do that.
Yeah,
though.
I'm just saying, like my concern is the animation quality, not me going up meeting the bar that the manga sets.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Just even the story-wise, I'm not sure how you would do it because it's just so absurd.
I don't really see the point there. You do little slice of life shows that are literally about nothing. So
true. And slice of life about a guy who can defeat any opponent with a single punch, and that gets really boring for him.
Yeah. Like, so I think it'd be great as an anime, but the thing is, I just don't think, like, animation-wise especially, it just would not live up to the manga. It would really all depend on who they got, what studio they got, and how much budget they gave it.
True, though I'm not sure what studio would actually fit it.
Yeah.
Toei Animation.
The only good thing Toei has ever made was Kyoso Giga. At least animation-wise. But yeah, let's see, what else about Assassination Classroom?
Yeah, do you like how Kuro-sensei gave bitch son adult treatment? She totally got the tentacles, man.
To be fair, that other kid also got the tentacles in the episode before that.
Oh god.
And that one baseball player. Oh god, that magazine in English. It's like that the writing in the magazine was in English, and it was like the baseball players' colleagues were laughing and saying, "Haha, Japanese hentai," and then his wife was like, "I envy you so."
Man, this show is great, dude.
Yes, it's just freaking amazing.
It'd be my favorite new show of the season if it wasn't for Saekano.
Yeah. It's like this squid who, when you try to kill him, he starts grooming you immaculately.
And pretty much he's just completely cocky about it too.
Yes. Cocky as all hell.
It's freaking amazing. That's one of those characters that absolutely makes the show. Without him, it would be really boring.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's like he pretty much does make the show, and the supporting cast really adds on to it. But without him there, it just wouldn't be the same. It's just this absurd yellow squid with euphemism fingers that look like penises. Just he can go faster than he can go. He can just go Mach 20 and just do absurd stuff. And he's basically unkillable, but that doesn't stop people from trying.
Mm-hmm.
It's just absurd and glorious as hell. But yeah, anything else about Assassination Classroom?
I got nothing.
I think we're back on the basis.
Yeah. Have either of you watched Yatterman Night?
I haven't watched that.
Oh.
Well, it's interesting, but it definitely helps if you like. It's the concept of the series itself. It's interesting. It basically takes a kids show from the 70s and 2008. I suppose there was another one, and basically changes it around and makes basically the Team Rocket-ish villains the main characters, or at least their descendants, and basically makes it super dark. Like, it's kind of interesting how they did it. Like, at times it feels sort of childish in its humor and its sort of innocence, but then has darker themes, like how what were once the good guys basically turned really corrupt and basically forced people into enslavement. So it's an interesting mix. Now, I mean, it's not up there with Assassination Classroom, Death Parade, and The Rolling Girls for me, but it's interesting to watch. But yeah, it definitely helps if you've watched at least one of the first episodes of either of the original series to get a grasp of some stuff on it. But yeah.
You made me realize I really want a well-written spin-off of Team Rocket.
Well, try Yatterman Night then.
No, I mean like the actual Team Rocket characters from Pokemon, because they were by far the most interesting.
Yeah,
part of the
well,
anime.
that's the funny thing about Yatterman is when I was watching the original series, it was obvious that the writers were preferring the villains to the main characters. Like, main characters were like, yeah, we're heroes now, yay, goodness, and all that. And then you have these villains which are pretty much get more screen time in the very first episode of the original series than the main characters themselves. And it's just like it feels like they're having more fun than the main characters. Also, Alex, in the 2008 series, I think the same voice as Favreau was voicing the main Yatterman guy. And he's also has a role in the current in Yatterman Night as well. So it was really weird to see him playing as like this good guy character, and I keep thinking of him as like a lovable rogue. So it's really weird. But I can't really think of anything else to talk about as far as anime is concerned. So, any other things you want to talk about?
Saikana.
Yeah.
You been watching that, Alex?
Yeah. Like I said, I actually watched it at the recommendation of my brother, the first episode. Like, I wasn't sure, like, what, if I wanted to watch it at all. But I had read a couple things about it, so I was a little interested and asked my brother what he thought about it. And he said to check it out. And almost immediately I loved the, like, fourth wall breaking that the show has. That just, like, completely self-aware. And I was, like, so surprised. I'm actually just still surprised how much I'm enjoying the show.
Yeah, if you remember when I came into the season, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna watch this. It's gonna be so horrible.
Exactly, yeah, because I remember it's because it started when your internet was out. Well, you were asking me like how I had given my impressions on it. You were like sort of surprised by how much I liked it.
Yeah, I had astronomically low expectations going in,
and I guess that's sort of good because you got a surprise essentially how good it is so far.
Yeah, the self-aware humor and the ecchi and all that, like, everything's just coming together to remind me a lot of Nisekoi. Which, you probably seem to be enjoying that a little bit more than Nisekoi.
If that wasn't obvious, yeah. Like, I would almost draw more parallels to Bakemonogatari. Because, you know, even that had a bit of self-awareness sometimes. And whereas Nisekoi just, you know, this sort of this is pretty much like, you know, it's like Harem Mania 5000. I don't really get that sense. I get more of a Monogatari sense from Saikano than I get from a Nisekoi sense out of it.
Yeah, I can definitely see elements of both in it.
And even then, that's sort of like, you know, compared to the two, I think it's sort of doing it injustice because, you know, it stands on its own to me as well. Because, I don't know, because the fact that it's just, like, constantly, like, throwing, like, the characters, it's like, you know, sometimes always say something fourth wall breaking or just sort of, you know what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, you know, I haven't really seen that in, like, you know, a harem-like show. So
I just like how they're literally explaining every trope as they're using it.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say though, the main guy, especially towards the end of last episode, he could be a little irritating because how much of a fucking otaku he is. It's like, no, you have to be you can't be seen with another guy so long as we're making this other game. It's like, comes off as, it's supposed to be comedic, it just comes off as the most, like, strangely controlling thing, and it's because he's such a fucking otaku about things that he's like, it's like, no, you have to be my waifu until we're done with this. And even though he won't say that, it's essentially what he's saying.
That is exactly what he's saying. He is basically the biggest weeb.
Yep. And I find that the most absurd thing that he's somehow the most popular guy. Like, I know it explained back in the second, officially first episode, because the first one that came out was episode 0. But I know it explained that the reason why he's so popular, that he got, like, all the clubs into the school, and that's why people like him. But just, like, just to see what kind of character he is, it's, like, surprising that he's somehow as popular as he's supposed to be.
Yeah, I really liked how they were using the popularity trope and explaining it as they were going along.
Yeah.
That's another one of the self-referential humor points they were using. Like you can't have two of the most beautiful girls at school. That's unnecessary. It doesn't even make any sense. Oh my god, it's amazing.
I also like what's her name? The pretty much a main chick. I can't remember her name.
That is so ironic, man.
Yeah. Sometimes her comments, just in regards to him, are like completely biting. It's like she's pretty much insulting him, but it just doesn't like dawn on him that's what she's doing. Because she's just saying, like, the one episode is like, it's like talking about saying, I bet you have like the window. Well, she was asking, do you have windows, or is it built that people will hear me shout or won't hear me shout or something like that?
Yeah, she's got like the most dry, slow burn humor ever, and it's freaking amazing.
Yeah,
she's just like deadpan with it all, and it's just so freaking hilarious whenever she comes off with some of the stuff she says.
I'm wondering. I wonder what episode the cousin's supposed to come in, because she has yet to. I'm surprised she hasn't made her appearance yet.
Because, I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely. Like, I didn't know what to expect going into it. It's definitely been a surprise for me so far.
Oh, how many of the posters and stuff can you recognize out of his room?
I recognize a few, but I have to look at them again. I know I've seen a few.
Yeah, I know he's got the Madoka Magica posters on his wall.
I think I saw that. What studio made the show? I can't remember.
I'm not sure. Oh, and he had a Nozaki volume on his floor, if I remember right. Let me see. Sakana. A1. So yeah, that explains a lot of what I was seeing in his room. He's also got a Minma statue from Anohana.
Hey, perhaps you will like JJ. Perhaps you will like the show, even though A1 Pictures is hit or miss with you. Just look at it this way: isn't Seven Deadly Sins A1 Pictures?
Yeah, but Seven Deadly Sins.
Seriously, like, me. I don't know. Here's the thing: I actually think you would dig. I think you would dig the self-awareness of this show, man.
Then again, you thought I'd dig a lot of stuff.
Atakawan and the Bridge. I still think you need to get back to that. Just give that one more episode.
It's not going to work.
I think it's I don't know. I can't understand holding a studio's stylistic choices against them. Essentially,
I just don't like Shaft.
But anyway.
One more thing I remembered on Dave's floor is Amagi Brilliant Parklight novels.
I didn't. Except I saw a couple things I recognized. I just couldn't really remember them. So they're gonna have another episode taking place in his room for me to really spot things.
Yeah, when they started panning his room, I started pausing the shots to see what all I could notice.
You should probably watch Outbreak Company then.
Oh, I've already planned on doing that soon.
Yeah, Outbreak Company. There's just so many freaking references in that. Like, at one point, I think they were teaching us a group of kids. It's from Sedokai Yaikun Domo. They were just teaching a bunch of 10-year-old elves and dwarves in Outbreak Company from freaking Sedokai Yaikun Domo.
Yeah, everything I've heard about it actually reminds me a little bit of what Sodate-kata no Ichizan sounds like.
I think you would like the protagonist because he just gets so super excited when he sees something moe or something that just gets out his inner otaku.
Okay, guess what I'll be watching next.
He just gets super excited. And as far as the series itself, it has a lot of interesting, that's the thing about it. It just, at the surface, it doesn't sound that interesting, but then it goes into some really, really interesting political stuff, fantasy political stuff, and sort of the difference in culture shock, sort of. It's really interesting to see. And then you've got a whole bunch of references to stuff like The Devil is a Part-Timer and Attack on Titan and Seokai Kundomo.
Wasn't it basically the sleeper hit of fall 2013?
Pretty much.
I know, not a lot of people went in there with any sort of expectations at all, but a lot of people were talking about it by the end.
Yeah, that was pretty much it, because on the surface it didn't sound interesting at all, but when you actually got to watching it, it just did so many really good stuff that it was just really worth watching. And actually, Sentai's dub of it is pretty good so far. But yeah, anything else in simulcasts?
I feel like we're missing. Well, Seven Deadly Sins, if you kept
Oh
up.
yeah, Seven Deadly Sins.
That was a great episode.
Oh yeah, I especially.
And I love. Yeah, here's the thing. I love. It sort of makes sense now with all the building. Hello.
Yeah.
It sort of makes sense now with all the building that they did with Gila.
Yeah.
That she's now sort of joining the actual good
Gila
side.
He's my favorite character in that series
now.
Yeah,
I agree. She's probably one of the best characters in the show or franchise.
The visual design is so freaking cool, both with and without her armor. But then you get to her personality, it's really, really interesting of a character. With her brother and her father going off and basically becoming a demon, and she's pretty much going along the same fate as him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And actually, I know the manga's still ongoing, it's just that, I remember being legitimately sort of concerned that something bad was going to happen to Diana.
Yeah. Wait, what?
No, because I remember being sort of legit. I know the manga's still ongoing. Yeah. It's still ongoing. I just thought something bad was possibly going to happen to Diana.
No, I don't think so. But,
well, obviously not, because now that they're going to be fighting back. But yeah, did a stranger mute his mic or something?
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, I figured.
All right. So I was wondering if it sounded like...
Yeah, it sounded like there was less static.
And also, what's his name? Gauther's ability.
Yeah, basically make...
It's essentially the love arrow.
Pretty much. That's the reason why he's lost.
Just so sort of funny. He's like, Gauther, baby. And speaking of imitations, actually, before I forget, something in regards to Nisekoi. I mean, Stranger watched the second OVA last week, and there's this one part where what's her name again?
Onodera.
Yeah, Onodera is it's sort of like it's once the editor set it up. The scenario is that Raku, the main character, gave people chocolates, not knowing they were liquor chocolates or whiskey chocolates.
Oh,
so well, go ahead.
For the record, they all got drunk off one fucking chocolate each.
That's about what I was about to say. And so essentially, it's all the girls essentially lusting after Raku while they're drunk, or trying to reveal that they are in love with him and all that. And there's one part where Onodera, the one chick, is pretty much has her kimono.
Yep.
Half sort of off, and it's some of her breasts are exposed. And that, when me and Stranger were watching that, I was like, I saw the perfect opportunity just to fuck around. I was like, take me, Raku. And other than that, we were just sort of quiet throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, that was the only thing that was said the entire time she was stripping. And It was like we were just so interested. Like, let's just not talk for a little while.
This also because we're just seeing how Raku's gonna blow everything that he like he usually does in almost every episode of the show so far. So yeah.
Oh, you remember those amazing subs too?
Oh god,
Perfume.
Yeah, they spelled perfume P-U-R-F-U-M-E. They also had multiple capitalization errors, multiple spelling errors, and really bad punctuation errors. The mainstream just pretty much dealt with it because it'd probably be a while till they get better quality stuff.
Yeah, those subs, I've never seen anything that horrendous on, like, typesetting or nothing. It was like lowercase names and periods followed by exclamation points.
Mm-hmm.
We were just cracking on the entire freaking time. You remember how you remember how I completely lost my train of thought during the ending scene when they started pulling keys out of various body parts? They start pulling the keys out of their boobs and stuff. I'm like, so Alex, Alex, what was I talking about, man?
I can't.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was sounding like during the end of that show. Like I just suddenly got entranced by all the etchy.
But anyway, back to Seven Deadly Sins. Where was I? One hilarious moment was when what's the pig's name again?
Hawk.
Hawk, you pretty much had to take a massive shit. Just like one kind of just like running off,
and
breaking
he's
the door.
Useful.
Yeah. And he also just knocks out the one guard.
Yeah, but I'd say my favorite part of that series was when that one guy who occasionally turns into Love Hat basically says the line that without villains, knights can't be heroes, and he's basically blowing up stuff and making.
It seemed like that I was doing
basically making the Seven Deadly Sins take the blame for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like that basically fits the villains perfectly, and the series in general. It's like they're the Holy Knights, but they're really the bad guys, and it's the Seven Deadly Sins who are kind of doing the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just sort of an interesting, basically an interesting. It's just an interesting thing about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but other than that, I really got nothing to say more about the show.
Yeah.
So.
Have you been watching Garo?
No, I never even started that, man.
Yeah. Well,
I want to. My brother said it's a great. My brother said
it is, and the second season is just upping the hell out of the quality. Honestly,
I do know. He told me about this one character. He said best girl died.
Yeah.
He was just sort of like depressed about it.
Yeah, that was.
It's not so much depressed. But he was just like soon as watching it, it's like, man, they just killed best girl.
Yeah, that last episode was really just hit the feels right at in the head. And in general, just the whole second half has had a lot of really, really good moments. Yeah, but otherwise, I can't think of any other simulcasts.
Hey guys, any of you watching Rita the Virgin Witch? Huh?
I dropped that after 2 episodes.
I gotta say, in regards to one of the simulcasts, I think only I've been following for I don't know what reason, because it's probably one of the most generic shows I've ever watched. It's like I'm actually watching that one show, Absolute Duo. Oh man, it's just,
I heard that one was pretty bland.
It's not that it's like super bad or anything. It's just I'm like 5 episodes in, and for some reason I'm still watching it. It's just like one of the most generic things that could ever exist. But I would stop short saying it's bad. So.
Yeah. But anyways, I suppose is there any other anime you wanted to talk about, or have we already talked about pretty much everything we've been watching?
We can talk about the real best simulcast, Koufuku Graffiti.
Isn't that basically food porn?
It's basically shitty, etchy, and pictures of food.
So basically food porn.
Yeah, shitty, etchy, like
I didn't. I mean, I didn't hate the first episode. Probably not even the second episode. I just found them like, both boring. The only good thing to come out of Koufuku Graffiti, in my opinion, though, is pretty much the preview song that the characters sing.
Yeah, you told me to try and finish the episode so I can see that. I got literally 12 minutes in.
I actually said you don't have to finish the episode, just fast forward to the end, is all.
I'm like, I'm not even booting up this show anymore. I'm 100% done.
Well, I haven't bothered with it either. It's just, I'm just saying, like, you should check out. It's just a really catchy thing. It's the only reason why I watched the second episode. And then after the second episode, I was like, I'm not watching this shit anymore.
What if there had been another charming ending song?
Say what?
What if there had been another charming ending song?
No, it's the same thing that they use in the credit song. That's it. It's just, like I said, I still find it charming, but it wasn't enough for me to stick with the series.
So no one like Koufuku Graffiti. Damn shame.
Now we look forward to Shokugeki no Soma, the real food porn show. And by all means, of the chapters that I read of it, it's going to be like, it has like characters pretty much having an orgasmic reaction to good food, and it's hilarious. From what I read, like I stopped reading it, not really out of interest because I just sort of hadn't read it in a while. But what I read, it's just like it's just sort of funny the way they have people reacting to like excellent food.
You read some weird ass shit, dude.
I would say, since you've watched the show, JJ, or you watched, I think you watched, what's it called?
Toriko?
Yeah, Toriko, yeah. Think of some of the reactions they have to food in that show, and it's only like 2 times more sexual in Shokugeki no Soma.
Well, there was.
I think in the one. Here's the thing. I think either in the one shot or the first chapter, the one main girl or like the head girl at the school, she's like, "No, it's like it shouldn't be this good." No, and it's like, oh man. I sort of want to see how you guys react to it. I'm not sure if you'll like it, JJ. I think Stranger might like it, but then again, I've been wrong before, so.
Oh, have you been wrong before?
Yeah.
But anything else?
Nothing.
I think we're good.
Alright, moving on, some news. So let's see, first news, I guess I'll start off with the sadder one. Last week, Monty Oum, director of Red vs. Blue Season 8 through 10, and creator and director of RWBY, passed away on Monday the 2nd. According to Rooster Teeth, he had an extreme allergic reaction during a simple procedure over the Friday before, which put him into a coma, which he was not able to recover from. So, honestly, he was one of my favorite directors, and it's just really sad to see him go.
Like I said, I think like I told you, I never really watched much of his stuff. I checked out RWBY, like a little bit of RWBY, one episode or two, and like, well, I can't speak for like what you said and like one of your favorite directors. To see the outpouring of sentiment, he had to have touched some people.
Yeah.
Obviously, just your reaction and pretty much let's see, Chris and Andy, I think Adam too.
Yeah.
Just to see the reactions, like he obviously really just.
Well, yeah, and I think his name was top on trends on Twitter.
Yeah, it was.
Like the day they announced it. So he pretty much, he was really liked by a lot of people. So it was just really sad to see him go. But I guess moving on from that, in weirder news, Mamoru Miyano, the voice of Okabe and the original Japanese dub of Steins Gate, is apparently going to have a voice role in the Japanese dub of that one Minions Despicable Me offshoot.
They should really just have him play Okabe in the thing. The Hoing Kyoma minion. It is him just essentially doing a minion imitation of Okabe.
That would be amazing. But
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about that. It's just weird. But, I guess in other news, Crunchyroll is planning to stream that one comical psychosomatic medicine anime.
Isn't that coming like this week or
I think
next week?
so.
I definitely want to check that out. Just the poster itself is like the most.
Just that one guy who
ridiculous.
looks like he's in nudist beach.
Uh,
I'm watching it entirely for that.
Sedekai Akondomo instead set in a hospital, essentially.
I hope that's what it is.
I'm hoping it lives up to it. I expected. I remember at the start of the season, because there's no comedy shorts this season that are really worth checking out. I checked out Military.
Yeah,
It's
that
just awful in the
was
first episode. Or it's not
terrible.
so much awful, just like it's not.
It's
Really-
not even funny. It's just ew.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Doctor one. If I didn't know about it, I'd say it's supposed to come out tomorrow, but I can't remember when it's supposed to come
Yeah, I
out.
can't remember when it was supposed to come out either. But I think that's all the news I have. Anything else?
I don't have much, or I don't have anything.
Well, there's Classic Memories.
Plastic memories.
Yeah, that's spring anime that's coming out, and it's written by the same writer as Chaos Head, Steins Gate, and Robotics Notes.
And
So
We're
guess what my
checking-
most hype series is now.
Yep. What studio is it being made by again? Or who? I think there was like someone. I can't remember.
What is
I'll
that?
probably check it out, but I'm
Never
not
mind,
too
never mind,
excited
never
for it.
Yeah, I'm really hyped for that. I think I've heard anything else in spring now. That's
There's
including...
there's too much in spring to watch. Damn it.
I literally have 16 simulcasts picked out right now. And I'm very seriously considering trying every spring simulcast. Which I'll probably be dead by the end of it, but well. Like, yeah, so let's just watch 30 shows and try them out.
Yeah. But anything else in news?
Nope.
Alright, I guess moving on. Games or VNs we recommend. So how about you, stranger?
I can't really recommend anything other than Rewrite because I haven't been playing nothing.
Yeah.
I've just been putting like 7 or 8 hours into that every night that I'm off work. And it's really fucking good.
Alright, me, I'm going to, not surprisingly, recommend Final Fantasy XIV. I mean, admittedly, the combat in it is basically the WoW style combat, but they have a lot of interesting mechanics in the game, like changing your class. It's basically as simple as switching out your weapon, so you can basically have all the classes, but every time you start a new class, you'll be at the very beginning. But the way they set it up is it really rewards changing your class, basically exploring the other classes. But also the way it handles that as well, it sort of really makes both veteran players and new players sort of feel equal without really screwing over either. So you can basically have a lower level player just starting out and a higher level player who's already maxed out a class starting a new class, basically playing together and basically enjoying the game at the same pace. Plus, the game itself, it has full-on cross-platform play between PS3, PC, and PS4, so you can be playing on different consoles at the same time. And plus, since it's a Final Fantasy game, the visuals are pretty good, and the aesthetic is pretty enjoyable as well. Other than that, I haven't been. That's pretty much what I recommend. How about you, Alex?
Well, I've actually been in a lot of games in the interim between shows. Essentially a month and a half interim between shows. But so it's not gonna just be one. But I think I'm gonna recommend like 3. I would recommend playing. I beat Shantae and the Pirates Curse on the 3DS. the Banner Saga, and Beyond Good and Evil. That's like Banner Saga is just really, even though it ends sort of abruptly, it's a really good fantasy. Like it's pretty much like a mix. It's pretty much like a strategy RPG. It's just a little, I guess, a little more easier for people like me who don't really jive that much with the that kind of game. Because most of the time I suck at strategy RPGs and never really bother with them. But not only that, it just got this really interesting world. It's huge too, which makes it even more shame that it's supposedly supposed to be a trilogy, but it makes me even more shame that the first game doesn't go on longer. But either way, choice plays a factor in the game. Overall, aesthetically, it looks pretty good, and it's also just a pretty good gameplay system as well. And I finally, with Beyond Good and Evil, I finally got around to that after like pretty much never playing it when it came out, and it's a pretty damn good game. So I would recommend not playing it on don't play the PC port because
yeah, I remember
it's a bit
it was pretty iffy. Then
so
again, it's
if you're gonna
Ubisoft, so
if you're gonna go with anything, just get the
anyways.
HD re-release or something on the consoles. I say just go with that. But yeah, that's what I recommend.
Oh, and you just reminded me that since we haven't had a show in so long, I actually do have some games I can recommend.
Alright.
Like, I beat Persona 4 Golden, like, right at the beginning of January, and that ended up being my new favorite game ever. Like, they literally fixed every single problem I had with Persona 4 and fixed stuff I didn't even know I had problems with. Plus, they threw in a ton of extra content, so, like, there will be absolutely...
you recommend Persona 4, like, 3 times or 6 times?
Not Golden, man. Not Golden.
It's different this time, JJ.
I thought he recommended I thought he recommended Golden, like, the episode before last.
I mean, we haven't had a episode since December.
Fine.
And then, other than that, I also finished Danganronpa in early January. And basically take the same sort of loose premise as Assassination Classroom, which a bunch of kids are in a school and they have to kill. Only this time it's each other and it's dark as fuck. But it's written really well and it's probably around a 40-hour game. So yeah, just those two are enough to justify the purchase of a Vita. So, my recommendations would probably be Persona 4 Golden, Danganronpa, and just a Vita in general.
Alright.
Especially since we get Steins Gate this year.
Yep. Hooray.
Party time, man. Yeah, that's all I got.
Alright. I guess moving on, anime we recommend. So how about you, Alex?
This is a bit of a challenge. Like I said, I haven't really watched much besides simulcast, so I'm trying to think. I was actually going to recommend Seven Deadly Sins, since it's just been so surprisingly stellar so far.
It's really been fantastic this last season.
And like in the first 2 episodes, I didn't really know what to expect, but it's just I sort of agree with something my brother said. I'm now really interested in reading the manga because it's like probably the most excited, probably the most like into a shonen that I've been since I started One Piece. So I'll recommend that.
Yeah. How about you, stranger?
Boku no Pico.
No.
Okay. But seriously, I'm probably gonna recommend Space Dandy because it's weird as hell, but a lot of fun. Like, there's just no continuity, whatsoever. They just do, like, the most random bullshit every episode.
I think I'd call it the modern-day Excel Saga. Because that's basically what Excel Saga was. Almost no continuity and just absurdity every episode.
Like you said, you saw the first episode of Season 2, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I saw up to, like, maybe episode 6 or 7 of Season 2.
You remember Triangle Dandy and Emo Dandy?
Oh god, Emo Dandy.
I remember a lot of people posting Emo Dandy like when they came out, like almost immediately as they were watching the show. They were posting it.
Was this...
He just holds the helmet and I've never seen him put it on. Yeah, me and Matt were just fucking dying during that part. He was just so depressing. And Danny was just like, damn, if I was in your position, I'd be the same way. Yeah, this show's trippy as fuck, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Plus, I love the hell out of Dr. Joe.
Yeah.
And then the English dub, he's voiced by J. Michael Tatum.
J. Michael Tatum, yeah. No, wait, yeah, the Dr. Gel's the... I'm thinking of Bean, for some reason. Yeah, Dr. Gel is awesome.
He just always manages to get himself killed.
Well, they all kind of get themselves killed eventually.
It's like the Higurashi of the stupid space operas. Plus, I mean, that dub is just like fucking stellar. Like, I have not watched it sub, but like the dub is just absolutely spot on.
Oh yeah, definitely. But, see, I am going to recommend Tears to Tiara, which was, I believe, Studio Fox's first foray into animation, and honestly, it was a really good starting point for them. And I also highly recommend watching it with the English dub, because the accents they do, like, the main premise of it is it's high fantasy, but it has a really emphasis on, say, the Celts and Romans. So you've got, so in the dub, they actually do sort of Irish, Scottish sort of accents for the main characters. I mean, it's not perfect per se, since it is Sentai work, so they are getting better, but it's not perfect, but it's really, really freaking good for what it is. And actually, I'd say it has probably one of my favorite, or not favorite, one of the most interesting roles I've heard from Monica Rial. Like, normally she plays the cutesy sort of characters in dubs. In Tears to Tiara's, her role is basically Octavia, and she's basically the badass female character of the series. So it's just really interesting to hear her do a much more lower toned sort of character. But yeah, and plus, like I said, the characters do accents, so it not perfectly, but just it's really interesting to hear them.
Oh, dude, you reminded me that Colin watched Cat Planet Cuties, and he said the dub was fucking horrendous, and it could have possibly been Funimation. I looked up, and
it's
Funimation with Monica Rial.
Yeah.
And he said it was just so fucking bad. And yeah, he just kept watching it because of Cat Girl Etchy.
Well, I imagine the series itself would be pretty bad.
Yeah, he said that dub was just like the icing on the cake for the shit.
I don't think you really need much more icing on a shit cake that's already shit. But, yeah. But, anything else we want to recommend?
No.
Alright. I guess...
I recommend Adam to get good.
Adam recommends Himegoto.
Yes, let's just make his recommendation that as punishment for not showing up.
So yes, I will put that in the description.
He gives it 10 package jiggles out of 10.
I'm also putting that in the description. But yeah, if you enjoyed this show and want to follow any of us on Twitter, this show's Twitter handle and all of our Twitter handles will be in the description. Yeah, if you'd like to share this video with anyone else, be sure to do so and give us a follow and all that. And well, until next time, later.